we've actually never talked before.
Yeah.
This is the first time. This is the first time we speak. You who are watching this are actually seeing us interacting for the first time ever, because everything we did up to this point was just via Messenger. Yeah, we recorded and released a single through Messenger. Actually, we haven't. That's the only way we've communicated.
Yeah, that was the first time I've ever done that.
Yeah, absolutely. For me as well, absolutely. So maybe I should give people a bit of a background here, because we've kind of I've kind of been hinting at a new kind of a bit of a different Ashbury Heights project for about a year now, but because the pandemic thing, it kind of got a bit delayed. So basically, what it's about is that we're releasing a kind of a anthology collector's box set thing called the Ghost House Sessions, which is something that basically ever since 2009, I think, there's been a folder on all of my studio computers. There's always been a folder, Ghost House Sessions. And that's the folder where I put all the music that didn't get on the album. So through the years, that folder has grown quite large. Like the Ghost House Sessions folder has been getting larger and larger. And in some cases, in a few cases, I've actually gone in there, I've looked around, and then I took some songs out and they ended up on later albums. That's happened a few times. But after the last album and after Teya quit, I felt like before I move on, before I do anything else, I do want to make a new album, like a real new album, and I'm working on it. But before I move on, I want to get all of this shit out of my system. This is quite an old song. So it's this one's from 2000. I think this one's from 2010.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, and once again, it was because it's the way I usually work. So I usually do the music, and then I do power lines, just do the music, the melody, and then I write lyrics as fancy strikes me. When I come up with something, I feel like this is worth exploring. I keep writing. So in this case, there was never any lyrics for it. There was just a vague idea of a vocal melody, and that was it. So I wrote the lyrics and recorded them just maybe a month before I sent it to you, I think. Mm-hmm. So lyrics and vocals, that's new. The music is old, but now the like you said, the single turned out to be a remix. So which means it's basically all new. But it has its origin in a Ghost House session track from a decade ago, and yeah, I tried to make there's gonna be quite a few collaborators on this project, and I tried to give everyone a song that kind of fit their voice. So I guess that your voice says something about the kind of music you're into.
Yeah.
Because I tried to match the track to your voice, and that was okay, this is a track that will probably work for you. Looking at the range and the melodies and stuff like that. And I was right. It's
yeah, you were.
Yeah. You were also the first one to join in on the project. You weren't the first one to get back to me and say you wanted to participate, but you were definitely the most efficient when it came to delivering stuff.
Yeah, I remember when I got the song, I just listened to it, and you hope that it's gonna be great, and I just absolutely loved it, and I was so happy. And I had time, so I thought I'm just gonna get onto it right away, and it was, I don't know, it just felt really easy with this. even like the little bits that I added on that were like on top of like the normal chorus, like the normal lines. Like I did some ad lib stuff as well that you used in the remix more.
Yeah.
And that just felt really like it just really clicked. I felt the whole song was really very organic and very concise in a way. Like I would never have thought that it, you know, happened over time, but I guess that's how things often happen. That it just has to sink in, and then you look at it differently when you open it up again years later, and suddenly there's a new idea.
Yeah. Yes. So, I mean, sometimes quite a lot of the songs, there's like, for some reason I didn't finish them back in the day, like, and most of the time I feel like, well, this is quite a good idea. Why didn't I finish it? Why couldn't I finish this? Because with a lot of the songs, I felt like, well, there are songs that ended up on the album that right now I would say that they might be weaker. Like this might be this is definitely, to me now, a stronger song than some of the album tracks that I put out over the last decade. But at the moment, at that time when I did it, it just felt like, it doesn't really fit in. So it ended up in the ghost folder, and then it just took some time. So there's a lot of songs on this project where I feel like this is really, these songs were wronged. they deserve better. So it's fun finishing them. It's also very fun to get to work with some people I haven't worked with before, and also try and working with people in different ways. And you know, that's a segue. So now you can tell all the people that know about what I do but don't know what you do about yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a musician. I'm a filmmaker as well, but mainly musician again. I have classical training, so I started out as an opera singer, and that's already quite a while ago. But yeah, it's never really left me, like music. I tried all kinds of different styles, like first classical singing, and then I was kind of fed up with the idea of not being able to do my own material, not being able to choose the lyrics, and I just wanted to do something original. And I was in a German Gothic band called Icromon for 5 years. That's already 7 years or so ago, back when I lived in Germany. And we did some dark synth pop kind of stuff. And eventually I moved on. I moved to London. I focused on film for a few years, but now I have a solo project called Madil Hardis. And I do, kind of slow, melancholic, dark pop, atmospherical things. Sometimes more electronic, sometimes more classic with piano and voice only. And yeah.
Yeah, so some people, I don't know how many, but some people did see the cover version you did of Spiders.
Yeah.
Earlier, I think most people were quite positive about that.
I'm glad. I did it mainly because I really wanted to try and really love this song. So
yeah, I really there hasn't been that many covers of Ashbury Heights songs. Like, I know a few, but there hasn't been that many. So it was really, I'm always very happy to hear one. It's always fun to hear someone else like try and speak your language. Like it's like the way you write music is like your own private language. And having someone interpret that and try to speak those same words is always, it's immensely fascinating, and it's also always like, I'm always very flattered that someone would take the time and try to learn.
Yeah, it was really great that, I had the opportunity to do this and then show it to you before it was released, and, getting your feedback, and, you gave me some like little tweaks, some ideas, little things I changed. And that was a really interesting experience. I mean, when I first heard that song, I think it was the first song I ever heard from Ashbury Heights. And I would have never thought that, we would do a song together a few years later. So
Yeah, and it is worth it is worth noting also that you did that cover after you recorded our new single, because so they're not really related, but it's well, maybe they are, but it's not. It wasn't like we did the single first. It's been like.
it's been ready.
It's been ready for quite some time. Like basically, like it wasn't even like it's kind of been rushed out now, because Out of Line was like, we want something for a compilation. Do you have something? And I was like, oh well, actually I do have this one track. And then the original version that we did have, it turned out like it was too long. Like it's like, okay, I don't want to put this, and I just like. I couldn't finish it on time, because the original is like this really large, sprawling, expansive mix with it. So I did a remix just for the compilation, and then Out of Line was like, hey, we're gonna release this as a single as well, because why not? It's cool. Get in touch. Yeah, so like let's do a cover, and let's just push it out as a single as well. And I was like, okay, cool. There will be a video for. There will be a video for Wild Eyes, but it'll be a while. Like it'll be a few weeks or so, because I just don't have any. I don't have the like resources to record anything good where I am right now. I need to wait a few weeks so that I can meet up with the rest of the band, and they can help me to get something together. So, and especially, I mean, you're, like you said, you're a filmmaker, so I don't want to like fub it too badly. I want to do something at least slightly semi-professional.
Yeah, I mean, the challenge is here to record in 2 different countries and then make it match up, like the footage, the specifications. That's a bit tricky, but then also, finding like the same tone and feel of it. I've recorded already like a lot of stuff, but you haven't seen any of it. And I kind of want to keep it like that. I'm kind of waiting for your footage, and then maybe I'll go out again and film something new and just see where you're taking it. So.
Yeah, well, obviously I can't do anything even remotely close, because we're in such different places. I will probably, like, I've been thinking I will be doing my part in northern Sweden, so I will probably go out in a forest or something. I will I'll probably do something like really old school, like nature goth stuff, like, because I don't have any, like, I don't think I have any like good cityscapes to match up with London. So
yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah. So what I have is like I have a lot of forests. I have a lot of like hilltops and like ocean views and stuff like that. So
nice.
So maybe that'll be a nice contrast. We can. I mean, let's go with that.
I think so. And it's very interesting, because I'm curious, from like the beginning when I heard the song for the first time, and the lyrics are quite expressive in a way. I had this video in my head already. Like I saw you singing it, so I'm really curious how much that's gonna match up.
I always have like videos in my head too. Like for every song I ever write, I have a video in my head. But we never, like, we don't do videos so like regularly. Like lately we try to do them ourselves because they're fun to do. Even if we do them poorly, it's still fun to do them. But we never had like whenever we wanted to do a real video, it's always like people are always like, it's a waste of money to make videos, and we never really managed to like. It's still like one of the big, like, it's on my bucket list to make a like proper budget Ashbury Heights video at some point someday. But the likely the likely scenario is that we're just gonna keep, because it's getting so much easier to do things yourself now. So last time we were talking about getting a drone, so that we could get flyby footage, because like, okay, yeah, we're just like, we're a YouTube video band now, so let's just be the best YouTube video band that we can be, like, because we might not ever get the money to actually make a proper one. Would also very much like to sometime I would like to have a director, because I think what we're lacking, like the biggest difference isn't really in the quality of the footage, it's like not having a director, because directors, they really matter.
It's very true. You know, in all the short films and films that I've made, I most of the time had someone else directing them. So I usually write and produce, and I do the music. Sometimes I act in them. But I always have a director from the outside, because it just gives you a different perspective on the whole thing, and you get more out of it. And especially with a song, when you start and you have, you know, it comes out of you, you have a certain idea what it means, and then someone else maybe thinks something completely different, like a complete different story behind it. It can be a nice contrast to have, you know, a concept that is really, really different from where you started.
Yeah, I used to like, I usually compare it to like photographers I worked with. A lot of photographers I worked with are like, they mostly do photos of beautiful women. Like our main photographer for many years were Josefin Jönsson, and she's a amazing photographer, but she mainly does like pinup photography and does photography of like does gorgeous women and like does calendars and stuff like that. So she's not that helpful. Like when she was doing photos of Ashbury Heights, I never got that much direction for her, because she wasn't really that used to photographing men. It's like she didn't really know what to do. Like, she didn't know what to do, like with the masculine spectrum, like expressions, or she was just wasn't like confident in talking about it. So I always. I'm quite like adrift. Like if you look at the photos for the last two albums, like I'm often kind of adrift in them. I don't really know what to do. I stand there and I'm very like, I look brooding, but I'm quite uncertain of what I'm doing. So before that, like before Josephine, we had a photographer that unfortunately became much too expensive for us. He was what was his name? It was an American, but he had moved to Sweden, and he had, when we started working with him, he was kind of cheap because he was new, but he was incredible. Like he was a real artist, and he very quickly became successful. So we had to stop using him. Yeah. But he was the guy who did the shoots for the Take Care Paramore era, and I'm so much more animated in those images because he was always like, he would like pose. He would like, okay, Anders, strike this pose. Pucker your lips a bit more. Move your head just a few inches to the left. Nice. And he would just like, he would direct me. And the results were always like absolutely amazing. He also did the cover. The first time he worked with us, he did the cover for the Morning Star and the Black Car EP, which is like wonderful cover, which makes us seem like it looks kind of like more like a spy movie cover, and it's
it does a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it was like we're climbing in the sky, and it's very dramatic. But he was really good at that. He knew what he wanted from you, and he would like direct every limb. He would like, move your arm a bit, like move your leg a bit, get down there, yeah, nice. And he would be very like, it was fun working with him. It was like, so he was more of a director, and I'm not a good actor, so if I don't if I don't have a director, I kind of I drift away a bit.
I think, different people get different aspects of your performance out of you as well. It's just, I've worked with different types of photographers, and if you look at the pictures, then you think this is two different people, but it's just, one of my facets. And it's the same with acting as well. Like there's a relationship there, and you can feel when you have a photographer and you feel really safe, and you feel like, I don't know, like they know what they want and they know how to present you so it fits the idea. That's really a great feeling, like very secure and very, and you can, open up more too, I think. Then you get more ideas yourself. It's just, you're being held in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Garrison was his name.
Right.
So Ryan, if you're seeing this, I miss you. hope you're doing well. I know he went back to USA.
I wanted to ask you, so when you go back and you look at this back catalog of all the songs that have not been used, is it not, weird, going back? It's like time traveling. You go back to that person that you've been then and what you were thinking about. How does that feel?
Yeah, I do get the time traveling aspect, but I mainly get that with music when I listen to music that I've written, where I've written the lyrics and I've recorded the lyrics. Like, there's some stuff on my hard drive from before Ashbury Heights, like stuff that was never released, where I can really feel that, like, I'm listening to myself and it's like, this is not me. This is a completely different person with completely different values and completely different ideas about what's acceptable to like put in writing, and about like what kind of like musical genres are cool. So like I my first band was a death metal band. So
oh wow,
I've had a lot of different, and so but with these songs it's like they're adrift kind of, because I haven't, like, for most of them there are a few like newer songs that were supposed to end up on the last two albums, and these songs have some lyrics and have some vocals on them, and they feel more like they feel less detached. They feel more like I almost feel sorry for them, because they were like, it's not that they were bad songs, it's just that we had more than we needed, so we had to choose, like we had to kill our darlings and stuff like that. So but with the older ones where it's music and there's no vocals, I'm like, I know I wrote this, I know I wrote these, like I wrote this music, I programmed this beat, but I don't remember when I did it. Like I have the timestamp for the file, so I know that, okay, I know that this is from 2011. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I had planned for it. Like, what were my plans for the lyrics? Was this going to be a song about, and what key was I going to use? Was it going to be like a high pitched thing, or was it going to be dramatic and dark? What is this like? And so now I have, like, it's really like I've dug up something, but it's only half of it.
Yeah.
So it's like I've dug up like half a painting, and now I have to finish it, and I have no idea what it was supposed to be. Like, okay,
like musical gifts from the past in a way.
Yeah.
And you just open them, and there's something in there, and you then just do something new.
Yeah, it's like I get this. It's I like, oh, here's this image of a green glade and a tree, and there's like something. What's that supposed to be? Oh, I'm gonna make this a guy. Maybe that's what I was thinking, or I'm gonna put a bird here. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm going into kind of a
The Bob Ross kind of.
yeah, it's exactly that. It's like a it's a Bob Ross analogy here.
Yeah, but that's very interesting. Yeah, and then how many songs are going to be on that release?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, no, it's a bunch of songs that, like this one, a bunch of songs like Wild Eyes that were never finished, which I'm now finishing, so maybe 15, 16 of those at least. And then there's going to be like remasters of everything that we've done on the on YouTube over the years.
Yeah.
So a lot of the original material we did for YouTube a couple of years ago, but also like we're going to try to get the rights for all the covers we've done over the years, and we're going to try to release them because releasing covers means you got to get the rights from the original authors of the songs, and it takes some time, and it can be difficult because if the song isn't like just a straight up cover,
yeah,
they actually have to hear it and say, I'm okay with this. They can actually say no. So it's like, well, we're gonna try and get those released because we really want to.
Yeah.
Some of them I know will be able to release. Some of them I'm unsure are gonna be possible. So like some are more high odds than the others. And then lastly, it's also gonna be all the tracks that's been on like compilations and stuff over the years. Like we for example, we always put a original song on the Electronic Saviors compilations over the years. So those songs have only been available there. So we're gonna re-release those. And in some cases, like with those kind of tracks, like with YouTube things, YouTube exclusives and compilation tracks, usually there's been like either it's been a really tight deadline on those songs, or they were like the YouTube ones were made for fun, and we didn't allow ourselves to put that much time into them. So I'm not really happy with the mix anymore. Like I was maybe never happy with the mix. I was just like, has to be done now. So I kind of doing a Prince here, and like doing better mixes of them, and like so that the good mix is out there if people want to hear it the way that I would have liked it to sound to begin with. And if you take all of that together, like I mean that's at least 35 songs, something like that.
Wow, that's going to be quite something when it comes out.
So
do you have a timeline for that, or is that still secret?
No, it's. I mean, it was supposed to be this year. So, but then pandemic happened, and pandemic led to a lot of other things. So I had to move back to Sweden from Luxembourg, for example. So, stuff took up a lot of time. So now we're saying sometimes next year, like probably second half of next year, probably because I want to release more singles. I'm having fun with these singles. Like we have we have this really nice, we have this really nice cover theme going. We have a new logo type. We have like all this new graphical stuff, and I want to milk that. So I want to have this like. I want to have like a slew of these singles in this style, so I can like print the covers and put them up on my wall afterwards.
Amazing.
So
I'm curious to hear who else is going to be collaborating with Ashbury Heights in the next few months. Like I don't know anything; it's all secret, I think.
Yeah, it's all secret, and we're still not done. There's still people like coming in because once again because of Corona, a lot of people that were supposed to be on it aren't going to be on it anymore. Because of that, they just circumstances change. Some people quit music.
Wow.
Yeah, and won't be on it because they stop doing it. I'm still getting new collaborators. So it's still like a fluid project. It's evolving. There'll be more singles before there'll be an album, definitely. About the song, So is there like what's it about?
From what I think.
From your point of view, like what's it about?
So what I really like about the song is that state of mind that you're in when you're in a situation like what I think is happening. Like I'm not sure whether it's about a relationship, a romantic relationship, or whether it's about, you know, a partnership or a friendship. I mean, it could be various things, but when you think everything is fine and you invest a lot for years maybe into that relationship, and then one morning you wake up and that person goes away and leaves you, and that feeling of betrayal, but also shock and I don't know, not really, like it's like suddenly your life is cut and you didn't expect it and you don't know where to go from there, and the other person has already moved on. The other person maybe knew for a long time they would move on, and this wasn't right for them anymore, but you don't, and you're just there and you don't know what to do and where to go. This is where it feels like for me. I don't know how close this is to what you had in mind.
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's a good reading.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very nice reading. I know that the song felt like when I recorded it, like I recorded it in Luxembourg alone in my empty, very, very tiny and very, very expensive apartment. Luxembourg is very expensive. And like I was living in a box. So like it was, I had a bed and I had the microphone and I had my computer, and I was like standing in this empty white space, like in an empty white cube.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't sang for a very long time because like after Tia quit, we didn't do that much, no gigging obviously, and I hadn't recorded that much. So I was actually singing for the first time in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't changed. Like, I don't think that my vocals were technically like quite bad, I think, because I was so strained. I remember, especially when I sang the refrain, I remember like I felt so strained and my voice was so thin. But it didn't sound like any way my voice hasn't sounded like that like before, I think. And like people have told me afterwards that like it doesn't really it's I mean it sounds like you, but it doesn't quite sound like you. It's different. And I know that if I try to re-record it, it would not sound the same. It's a very, very, like I hit some kind of pitch that I don't usually work with. So I've kept it. I'm keeping it. I've been cutting and editing it a lot to like work around imperfections and stuff. But it's like. It was a special moment. Like that was a special moment. Like when I recorded that song in a very, like in a space that felt very alien and very isolating, and my own voice seemed like unfamiliar to me. And when I recorded it, I was also like, it was the first time that I was ever making noise in this apartment, and I had no idea how much I was annoying the neighbors while doing it. So I wanted to get it done with as fast as possible. They have this thing in Luxembourg where like like a lot of the times like the doors they're not flush against the floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the door out to the stairwell. Like your outer door to the apartment has like this much between the floor and the door. So you imagine that like everything you do in your apartment is just echoing out into the stairwell. It's very weird. Like I guess they didn't want to spend money on thresholds. So
I find it really interesting because there's a rawness to the voice that I really like. Like it sounds to me like the moment to record this is, you know, you stay up all night because you just cannot sleep. Your eyes just stare at the ceiling for hours, and then you just go up and you just record. That's what it sounds like. It's great.
I don't think you're wrong. I think I recorded it, like, I didn't record it in the middle of the night. I did not, but I did record it during a weekend, and I was working a lot. And like the weekends, I mainly like slept because I was just tired from the week.
Yeah.
And somewhere like in between these moments when I was just like too tired to do anything but just sleep, or like play video games or whatever, like trying to recuperate, somewhere in between those, I had this moment of lucidity where I felt like, okay, I can actually get out of this bed and do something productive for a little while now. I think, let's try it.
Yeah.
And that's when I did that. So I'm probably very, like, I'm very exhausted when I'm recording it, and I'm very out of practice. So it's a very special tone. I'm and like I said, I don't think I could do it again. So, and that makes it kind of like precious.
Yeah.
Because it's me, but it's something of me that isn't there anymore.
Yeah, I also think, now that you know what it's like, if you would try to sing it again, you would try to recreate it, and it would not be real. It would be trying to get something that's already past.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to get to that same spot again, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't.
No. There's an innocence when you first record something. I really try to get first recordings like technically right, because sometimes you get something that naivety, that innocence that you have with the song, you just don't get that back. So
yeah, I always prefer to, like, if I have an early take that feels honest and a later take that feels like technically proficient, I always take the honest one, and I just work harder with editing to if there's anything wrong with it, like weird breathing noises and stuff like that.
Or background or whatever.
Yeah, because there's I mean, when you do electronic music, and especially like when you do electronic music and you do electronic music outside of a traditional studio environment, which is a very different feeling. Like I've recorded like some of our albums were recorded in traditional studios, and then you have a very different like environment and a very different kind of vibe. But when you're doing it like in a home studio, there you have all the time in the world, and there is a tendency to get a bit too be like, if you have like a perfectionist streak, it can be hard to stop. So I usually force myself to stop before I go too far. And no, but I like this song. I like this song a lot, but it's also like there's two alien factors in it, because there's the fact that I don't really recognize my own voice in it, and then there's the fact that you're in it, and I'm not used to you either. So it's like this. It feels very much like a version of. It's like a multiverse Ashbury Heights.
Yeah.
It's like this is Ashbury Heights from Earth 2.
Yeah.
So it's Earth 2 has an Ashbury Heights where I'm maybe a bit older and have gray hair, and there's a whole different story behind the band, and it's like it's the same band, but it's not quite the same band. So it's and I think that's the point with this whole like idea with the Ghost House Sessions anthology, is that to find those, like, to scour the multiverse, in theory at least, and find like it's different versions of my own voice, but it's versions of it that wouldn't have necessarily existed had I gone about it more like normally.
And that's probably why those songs didn't fit in previous albums, because they were kind of on the outside.
Oh, you're saying they were from the multiverse all along?
Yeah, I think so. You know, when you create an album, you try to make it kind of it needs to fit together, needs to work. It needs to feel like this is all from the same band at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's you have this like idea of cohesion.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. And I've never I've never really seen Ashbury Heights as a very cohesive band, because I tend to want to do a lot of different things. So I see myself very much as a kind of like jukebox artist. Like my music is all over the place, and I have a I'm not very good at like sticking to one like consistent mood. I always, I'm very much in, like, I listen to a lot of artists who are good at that, and I'm very much in awe of bands that can do that have this like consistent tone over their entire like oeuvre.
Yeah.
But I can't do that. Sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's disco, and sometimes it's industrial. It's just I'm bad at being cohesive.
Yeah, I think, genre-wise and the influences that are there, they are varying a lot. I think there's still like an original handwriting that makes me feel like, yeah, this is Ashbury Heights. There's just something, I can't really describe what it is. It's maybe it's maybe in the way you tell your musical story there in each song. But but the style is very different. It varies a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm for this remix. I'm actually paraphrasing like this old Swedish 1980s hit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a reference. There's a reference to this old, really, really terrible 1980s Swedish pop song. But it might be. It's quite well hidden apparently, because no one's noticed it until I pointed it out. So we'll see how many people notice it. It's like,
this is a guessing game for everyone who's listening to this.
And who is Swedish, because this is a Swedish band who did music in Swedish. Okay. But I was like, when I did the remix, I was like, I felt like I was really ripping off. I was like, oh, this is like an homage to this thing that I don't really like. Like, it's like one of those songs that you love to hate.
Yeah. But you've heard it so often that it's in your head anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those like it's an earworm. It's a classic like mega hit, but it's not a good song by any metric. But it is damn catchy, and I was like, oh, I'm really getting a vibe here. And but no one's noticed. Like, the people who got previews haven't noticed. So I don't know. Maybe, like, when you're inspired by something, you always feel like a thief. Like you're like, this is basically the same chords. I'm stealing here. It's like I'm a musical criminal now, and you feel like very self-conscious about it, and then no one notices, and it's like, really.
But that's the thing about music, everyone has been doing this since music, existed. Everyone has just taken things and put them together and made something new, and then it's still new. Like, the art of music is remixing it by itself.
Well, pop music especially.
Yeah, but even classical music, they would listen to each other. They would take, themes and make something new out of it.
Or do things that were diametrically opposed to what they heard, just to be contrary.
Exactly.
Which I do like, but it's very hard to do that with pop music. Like, with classic music, you can do that. With classic music, you can be like contrarian, and you can really like push the boundaries of what would be considered listenable. But with pop music, you really can't do that. So you have to find.
Well, you can.
You can. You can make like unlistenable pop. I mean, there are examples, but like, what you really want to do is you want to find a way to repackaging something in a way that it hasn't really been packaged before. So, and so we'll see. Maybe someone will notice.
Yeah, maybe. If someone
And,
does, what do they get? Is there a prize for the person that guesses the song?
the first person to contact me and be like, "Hey, you totally ripped off the this thing," they will be getting. They'll definitely get a shout out in the next vlog. Definitely. But there might be some like merch swag heading their way. first one. First come. What's that like? First come, first served.